Welcome back to Blood 2 The Chosen. Last time we finally had our confrontation with Gideon. It was less than impressive.
Today we're... Oh, sorry. Different realities are crossing over. Please bear with it for the moment. Anyway, Gideon managed to run away in a cutscene for the fifth or so time, so we've chased him into the other world. Thankfully, for once we're directly behind him, so he hasn't had much time to prepare. All we've got to deal with right now is a small expedition of fanatics and a single behemoth. It's interesting that there's a Cabalco expedition here at all, though. I think this is supposed to be one of the first times Cabalco has sent teams of people into the Otherworld, because outside of one set piece a little later on, it's going to be nothing but Otherworld creatures for the rest of the game. Some Blood 2 fans like to call this other dimension Reality Beta, but that's just an unofficial nickname someone came up with. Personally, I prefer to call it the Otherworld, since the manual calls the various non-human enemies Otherworld creatures. The corpses and the pikes here can be jibbed if you need any health. Otherwise, we can just head inside and meet up with Gideon again.
Oh, Caleb, I've been expecting you, you predictable oaf. I won't be a minute. I'm just changing into something unpleasant.
Bring it on.
What do you think of my new look?
Yeah, and I thought I was ugly.
You have no idea how exquisite pain can feel. Allow me to demonstrate.
Go ahead, I'll watch.
I mean on you!
And with Gideon transforming into the embodiment of pure vengeance, we finally get to put him down. That's while his new form looks threatening.
It looks threatening, but the actual fight is kind of a joke. While Bloody Gideon would sometimes let off an attack even when you hit him to knock him out of his attack cycle, Spider Gideon flinches if you so much as give him a threatening look. Not to mention that the Vulcan Cannon will throw him all over the place, such as on top of that far wall at my test run and removing his ability to fight back at all. So let's go over a near complete list of all the weird bugs and glitches in this game. Reading from the TV Tropes page for obvious beta, bosses like Chapter 1's Naga and Bloody Gideon can end earlier than their last sliver of health being depleted. Spider Gideon flinches with any damage as mentioned, and his body is almost guaranteed to clip through the floor. The sawed-off shotgun is held with 2 right hands when used akimbo.
Get to hell, tell him I sent you. You'll get a discount.
No, it's not fair. I'll kill you!
Life's not fair, but neither is death. Get used to it.
And that takes care of Gideon. Anyway, only the flare gun's primary fire properly sets enemies on fire. Secondary fire, die bug dies secondary, and the napalm cannon don't set them on fire. Killing a death shroud by jibbing them with the final blow means that the ambient noise they make will continue playing even after they're dead. The other Chosen, despite being friendly in story, have entities in-game that are, for no good reason, hostile to Caleb, as seen when Chapter 1 ended with the cutscene bugging out and Gabriella ventilating me with her chain gun. Ishmael at the end of Chapter 2 likewise would have turned on me with any damage dealt to him if I didn't insta-kill him, supposedly by dropping a weapon and standing on top of it as it drops. When you pick it up again, you'll be given an extra serving of ammo, though I was never able to get this to work, and I can't tell whether that's because TV Tropes instructions are vague for the sake of being vague, or if it got fixed and they simply never caught on. Some enemies are stuck permanently attacking nothing in particular, often several times faster than they're supposed to be able to attack, until you hit them again. Again, I didn't really notice this, but that was probably my shoot first instincts getting in the way. The Behemoth's shockwave attack injures itself slightly. When it's brought down to low enough health, it will start using that shockwave with any damage it takes. You can do the math. Drudge Lords, as we saw frequently, will sometimes glide along the floor while launching their 3 fireballs if you grab their attention and then hide. I've also seen them launch them at greater than 90-degree angles and sometimes hold off on the 3rd fireball until I was in view during this playthrough. Enemies can sometimes freeze at the end of an attack or flinch animation if they can't see or get to the player upon that animation ending. Though I didn't see this because there's really only 4 enemies that don't have a ranged attack and I shoot 3 of the 4 on sight. Doors can be very deadly if you don't show them the proper respect. The one leading to the roof of the tenements in Chapter 2's 2nd level, as I brought up back then, is particularly deadly if you're not careful because the cutscene triggers as you're going through it, and if you're not in the right spot, the door cannon will crush you between itself and the frame during that cutscene, as if that level wasn't terrible enough. Lastly, what's made this entire playthrough hell ever since at least the CAS Revenant, the difficulty. It is not at all balanced. Easy mode makes you basically invulnerable to any attacks the enemies can let off, while you yourself deal so much damage that the last time I played through the game on that difficulty, I jibbed several of the bosses on accident. Then you hop on a normal difficulty, as I did for the LP proper, and the expected difficulty curve turns into more of a difficulty cliff, with enemies gaining superhuman reaction times and taking off a fourth of your health in a second. Having beaten the game on this difficulty now for this LP, I almost feel like I accomplished something. Oh Jesus, I still have 2 minutes of video to commentate over. Well, I suppose the downtime was nice for talking about the game's problems. Some viewers have mentioned that the game feels shorter than they remember it when they played it, and I imagine that's partly because ever since the CAS Revenant, whenever the game gives me the option to just run from enemies rather than murderizing everything, avoiding them is my first instinct. That's not a good sign in a game that's designed where you're supposed to enjoy the wanton murder and the funny things the Dark Man in the cool hat says when he does so. But to be quite honest, that's the smarter and safer option 90% of the time here. I mean, if you're playing a game where you're guaranteed to lose health from fighting enemies, but not guaranteed to get any health or even the ammo you used back from the effort, you'd be running away from every confrontation you can, too. Oh, come on! I know we're in reality beta, but there doesn't have to be a death shroud past every fucking corner. Fortunately, once we're past the third of them in a row, we're relatively in the clear. I mean, there's still one more in this area, but you can avoid him entirely.
You have a nice day.
Yeah, he's over there. Just hang a left instead.
Locked.
These giant doors lead to the end of the level. We just need to unlock them. That second Drudge Gorge back there is the other reason you want to come in here from the left side. If you go to the right, you won't notice him, but he'll notice you and start throwing fireballs at you through the floor from where he starts at. Kind of hard to dodge at that range, especially when you can't see the fireballs. Pull the switch and the exit is unlocked. Up here we've got another life seed and necro ward. Some proximity bombs too, but I don't see them becoming particularly useful. With these doors open, we're quickly approaching the finale. Next time we have a boss rush. I'll see you then.